Hi, everyone. This is Kim with Sense of Self, and I've got Amaya with me. She is somebody that I've worked with as doing hypnotherapy, um, holistic energy healing, and therapy. And I continue to work with Amaya. She's been a very important resource to my healing and that of my family's, honestly. And so I wanted to bring her forward as we're going to be launching a program called Energy Alignment. Hi, Maya.
Hi.
um,
Hi.
nice to see you. I was going to have you, do you mind telling everyone just a little bit about yourself and just your background?
Yes, I'm going to try. Mm, so I'm French, you can hear very well. And I started my journey when I was about 22 years ago. And for my own quest of healing, actually.
Mhm.
And then I was a bit disappointed by the modern, I mean, the traditional way of healing through psychology and medicine. And so I went through alternatives, and then I discovered shamanism when I really enter and go forward for about 10 years. And so this journey led me to meet different shaman, but also different wise person and therapist, and led me to learn things that help me in my own process of healing. And then I found naturally like my that I have a place into this world, and then like actually I can propose and offer my own perspective and my own sensitivity. So I started to train through all this technique that I found very useful for myself. So I train in energetic realignment, where we call it this way, but here, but I call it soul reading and soul clearing
Mhm.
in my process. And then I train also through hypnotherapy, which I specialize in it, and then human design also. So, and then obviously my practice of shamanism, like it's kind of my main filter, and through this filter I use soul reading and clearing, hypnotherapy, and human design to accompany people into their own journey of healing.
Mm. I know that working with you has been incredible. I mean, the your ability in the spectrum of your understanding from the energetic to the subconscious mind to, human design has helped me immensely. So I'm excited to bring this to everyone. Um, Thank you so much for telling everyone your background. So what we're going to do is when I work with Amaya, I'll ask her to do these energy alignments, but she's going to take us through like it's our first time to do it. So through this program, what you'll do is you'll sign up and then you'll download this report and or these instructions, and you basically submit the information so she can tune in to your energy field essentially, and then draw these conclusions. So she's going to go through the report that you're going to receive, and then we'll talk about the meanings and how it really kind of plays out in our lives, something more practical.
Mhm.
So, Amaya, when somebody signs up for a soul reading or the energy alignment program, can you walk us through the process of kind of your protocols that you're going to go through and kind of the reports that that we can expect?
So what I'm doing here, it's a basic clearing, energetic clearing, and check a little bit, not just a little bit, check basically the state of your energy,
Mhm.
and tapping into the main structure that are important to have balance, to feel good, grounded, balance, and presence. Okay, so that are the main thing. we can always go deeper and go to more details and to go to check more refined element that can affect your purpose or different areas of your life. But here we go for the basic, okay? What is vital? So the main element that's very important to check, it's what we call shield. So basically it's what's around our aura. I call it like an onion. It's all the layers that protect your aura. It's kind of the immune system, okay, but on the energetic level. When you have a strong immune system, so nothing passes your barrier, okay? Parasite, any type of parasite, which means bacteria, viruses cannot come in. So on the energetical level, it's the same. Entities, any type of parasite, energetic parasite residue, dark energy cannot come in when you have all your shield protection. So when you have too much charges from outside, for example, like emotional tension, environment that is toxic, exposed to a lot of electromagnetic when you travel, for example, a lot of stuff like that, that can deactivate your shield. Okay, it's too much charges. And also from inside, when you have a tendency to be very self-critic towards yourself or neglect yourself, that also can deactivate your shield. Okay, so that's the main thing that you can feel when you don't have any shield on. Normally we have between 5 and 7 shields, you know, in an average of that. But when you don't have any, you feel extremely vulnerable, more irritable, less patient. So it's very important to have all your shield up.
Okay, so what would help? So let's say I had all my shields up, right? Do when you're born, do you come into life with all your shields up,
Yeah,
or
most of the time.
most of the time? Yeah, and then as you're living life and you're being conditioned and you have experiences and you're with this person with a specific energetic field and this person that may be more draining versus another person that's maybe more grounded. Does that affect our shields? Because I know when you've checked my shields, sometimes they're up and sometimes they're down. So I'm just wondering what the reason why they would be affected, being going down, up and down.
So on a daily basis, I mean, our shield go down, okay? And especially, it's not just about your story or your conditioning. I mean, it has a lot to do with that also, because it's the way you behave towards yourself. For example, if you have a tendency to not value yourself, so you are going to let yourself in situation where you don't know you don't know how to set your boundaries, okay? So you allow certain people to treat you in a certain way, or also yourself, you treat yourself in a certain way where you neglect yourself, for example. So this behavior on a daily basis, it's tiring for your shield, okay? They just go down because you don't treat yourself, you let people treat yourself not in a correct way. So it's just a reflection on an energetic level of how you treat yourself emotionally and psychologically, okay? So that also a belief system that you have through your lifetime, but also that can be like a trauma or like a shocking situation. You don't do anything for it, it's just happening in a way to you, okay? So that also can shock your system and deactivate all your shit. When you travel, when you do plant ceremony or substance or using alcohol, that also you expose yourself in a lot of, you expose yourself in a position where you're extremely vulnerable. So that can deactivate your shield. Certain energies stick on you because you're stickable, which means when you have certain wounds that are not resolved, okay, they are stored most of the time in your chakras or in your subtle bodies or in both, and that can make you vulnerable to certain energies. And so most of the time, it's when you have a certain wounds, somebody with the perfect way to trigger you is going to interact with you, and that's a way that your shield can be deactivated.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's also a way. Or, for example, the thing of not knowing how to put certain boundaries is specifically happening with family, with loved ones. We have more difficulties to put boundaries, and we are more vulnerable with this type of person.
Mhm.
And so it's there where on a daily basis we can have our shield, like deactivated. Or in a work situation, it's situation that we encounter on a daily basis that can be extremely tiring when we don't know how to position ourselves to protect ourselves. Okay. But that also can happen, for example, when somebody is sending negativity towards you, and you, again, because you have a certain vulnerability in your system, you allow this person to send this negativity most of the time unconsciously. But that also can be a source of having your shield deactivated. Okay.
Okay, that makes sense. So really the shields are kind of work in alignment with your own evolution and consciousness. So as
So
as you're unconscious or operating in a subconscious way, then your shields will change, and it's activation, deactivation as you grow stronger and as you set boundaries, as you learn to kind of do the more positive self-talk and find that.
it's basically a reflection of how you're able to love yourself and protect yourself and value yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay? And that's a reflection of your vitality. If you have all your shit, that shows that, okay, you're in a good level of energy and you're able to protect and to cultivate this energy.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, when you are going through an accident or a shock, that's a way also that your shit can be deactivated. So that has nothing to do with your way of how you treat yourself.
Makes sense.
Okay, but mainly it's about that.
Yeah. Do you think shields are really important for kids going into middle school and, high school,
Yes,
or
very important.
all ages, right?
All ages, but there is something that through my experience of work, I saw that actually kids have stronger shield than
Oh,
ours.
that's
And
interesting.
yes, so it's very rare that I found the kids until the age of, teenage time, that I found kids without any shield. It's very, very uncommon. Like something happening that they are going through difficulties at home most of the time. It's not their own, it's what they absorb from the environment.
Mhm.
But they are more resistant. So.
Okay, that's super interesting. Yeah.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Awesome. Okay, so what did you find on my shields?
Yes, no, so we are going to check right now
Okay,
together.
she's gonna check the
Okay.
shields now.
So just explaining, I'm using a pendulum. That's my pendulum, and that's my medium. So I'm tapping into the Akashic records of Kim, and then based on her records, her archives, it's where I'm getting her information. I'm not tapping directly to you, Kim, to your being. Okay. Through this way, it's more clear what I'm getting. Okay, as information.
Okay.
So I'm going to tap right now to her energy. So Kim, you have 3 shield at this moment.
I have 3 shields. Yay!
Yes. Normally you have 6, so 3
Mhm.
are deactivated.
Oh,
Okay.
3 are deactivated.
So I check also if it's from inside or from outside, and in this case, it's more from outside.
Oh,
Okay.
interesting.
Yes, so there is situation where you can feel vulnerable, or there is some difficulties, or there was some tension maybe around you that slowly, it deactivated. Too much pressure.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Difference between your inner world and your outside world.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not too much in sync. Okay.
So
But that's not bad either.
it's not bad. So my inner shields are good, but my outer shields.
No, it's not about, there is no
No, it's
inner
not inner
shield.
outer. Okay.
It's just I'm checking from which direct, is it a inner, how I can say in a correct English, if the reason for your shield is activated, is it from inner critic or
Mhm.
neglect, from inside, or is it from outside? So
Okay.
what I'm getting is from outside, like an effect from your environment, or what's going on with your work, with your relationship. It's outside.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it. Yep. That makes perfect.
Understand the difference?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Big difference.
Yes.
You are running a diagnosis at this point, right? We're
Mhm.
going through a
Yeah.
protocol to go through all of these different aspects of my energy field. And then once we're done, and then you kind of report back to
Yes.
what you found, then you go in and then you clear or you activate the shields or whatever it is that we're dealing with.
So normally the way I process is, when I'm getting the information of the person, I'm going through what we are doing right now, kind of the uh, checking is my detective kind of work, where I'm going through my protocol and I'm tapping into the energy of the person and I'm checking what is going on, how many shield. And then we are going through the different aspects, the chakra, the subtle bodies, how many spirit guide, the energetic cords, and so on. I'm going to explain that with you in details
Yeah.
after.
Mhm.
And then when I'm finishing and I have an idea of what's going on, I'm doing the clearing. And then after, I'm going to send the report to the person. So most of the time it's the work that I'm doing remotely. I'm not doing it directly. But right now we are doing the checking, the detective aspect together.
Yeah, to
And
explain
then
it.
I'm
Mhm.
exactly, and then I'm going to do the clearing afterward. Okay.
Okay.
I prefer to
So
work.
so once you do the clearing,
Yeah.
will with let's say so I have 3 deactivated shields, will I feel anything different? Will I perceive anything? Or is that so subtle that it's just kind of, it just kind of works itself out?
It's subtle. It
Mhm.
depends also of your sensitivity.
Yes.
Okay, if you're very connected to your body and to your sensitivity, depends.
Mhm.
But when you start to have 2, 3 shield or 1 shield, you really start, normally, if you're open to your senses, you start to feel it. You feel more tired, more vulnerable, less patient, easily irritable to certain things.
Mhm.
So yeah, you feel it this way.
Yeah. Okay, great.
So I'm checking the chakras. So we have 7 main chakras and we have minor chakras. So I'm checking both the major chakra and minor chakra, which are 9 chakras. Most of them are in the body. And as I explained into it comes with the report, I explained a bit each chakras. So they are centers of energy, and it's important that each of them are balanced. They can be in excess of energy, where you're wasting energy, or they can be in not enough energy. I don't know how to explain it, but where the energy is, we call it a closed chakra, where the energy can be blocked and doesn't circulate correctly.
Mhm.
So that obviously can influence psychologically, emotionally, and also physically.
Mhm.
Okay.
So a chakra can be blocked, it can be closed, and it could be too open too, right?
Yes. Yeah, close can block energy when
Mhm.
it's closed, or too close, because it's very rare or that is completely closed.
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
So, but that the energy doesn't circulate properly or too much. Okay.
Mhm. Okay. And so each one of our chakras have different aspects of our emotions and our organs and our different areas of the body.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. So there's a lot of information out there. So if you guys are looking for additional chakra information, there's a book by Cindy Dale. And she has, I don't know, 29 or 27 books. I don't know how many books she has on chakra alignment. There's a lot of good information out there that people can read. But you would come to Amaya and she would be checking in real time your chakras and where you're at. And then, we'll go through it now. Great.
Absolutely. And also if there is certain wounds around the chakra that needs to be bind, to be protected, and stuff like that. Because
Okay.
when you have certain wounds on certain chakra, they can be in inflammatory state,
Okay.
and that can create like a kind of can be seen or felt as a partial possession, which means that you are possessed by your own wounds that are taking over, that all the that overwhelm you. Like,
Yeah.
for example, someone trigger you, or you, I don't know, for example, you go through a breakup and that reactivate a wound of abandonment from your father when you were 4 years old, for example. And then when in this situation we bind the wound for you to be able to process your breakup and not reliving the whole situation of the abandonment in your past, for example.
Okay. That's really important, especially when you're going through the healing, because you are almost you are intentionally triggering these different wounds in your self-discovery slash healing process. And so having those chakras kind of checked, I know that was kind of a fast way a fast track, because we did this soul reading that you and I started working together, because you had found energetic cords and wounds, which I don't want to jump ahead. That's different. But you found all of this kind of through doing this alignment process. And then yeah, it's fascinating. Okay. Awesome.
So I'm going to check your chakra right now.
Yeah.
I also, there is another possibility with chakra that I'm doing is to repattern a chakra, which means when there is certain belief system, that needs an update. So it can be seen as repatterning a chakra, because you are still working on a belief system that's not how I can say
Serving
that's
me.
not the correct way, that needs to be updated. I don't know
Yes.
how to say it correctly.
Yeah.
So we do also that. So it's not about having a chakra that's too much open or not enough open. It's just functioning into a frequency, into a tune
That's
that's
not
not
correct. Yeah.
correct. Okay.
Yeah.
So let me check about it right now. So there is no chakra that needs to be patterned at this moment. The fourth chakra, the heart chakra. Yeah, needs to be a little bit reopened.
Reopened.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, basically it's only this one.
And the
Okay.
first chakra is good, because just so everyone knows, I'm known for kind of being above the body in the body, which I have been working on. But yeah, so the first chakra is looking good.
Yeah, the first is looking good.
That's
Yes, nothing there. Especially at this moment, there is the fourth chakra that is a little bit low.
okay.
Okay.
So the
It's
fourth
close.
chakra is the heart,
The heart.
the
Yeah.
heart chakra. And so what may some of the things that I would feel when the chakra is more closed, towards the closed side of it?
It will show up a lot about trust
Mm-hmm.
issues, having difficulty to trust yourself, self-worth, also trust others, being able to go in the world and feeling like confident enough in yourself and in the world to open up, to show up, take risk, open yourself.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Is
So
that
when it goes a little bit, it's like we feel not sure about ourselves. It can be shown as self-doubt, self-esteem issues to protect. We are not sure, so we close.
yeah.
Okay. So the subtle bodies is actually the same thing. The subtle bodies are the layer of your aura, basically, that are the emanation of your chakra. Each subtle body is linked to a chakra. And so when I check the chakras, I check also the subtle bodies. It's actually less common that I'm repatterning. That I need to do repatterning on the subtle body. So I'm going to check with you right now if there is any need to clear or to repattern any subtle body.
Okay.
Not repattern, but there is something that needs to be clear. In your physical subtle body. So it seems that there is residue. Have you done any recently change in your diet, in the way you know, like habits related of, you know, things you eat, who you drink?
Yes.
When there is something that changed drastically, sometimes we need to do some clearing because there is some residue, and you actually so the body doesn't resonate anymore with certain things, so we need to
Like kind of
readjust.
it with the habit that you're turning into. Yeah, so you know, I've about a week ago I stopped really drinking, and the angst for it really just hasn't been there, and then as a
Okay.
result, I've just kind of reduced kind of my intake on that level. So now that we've done the subtle bodies, and she'll clear that for me,
Yes,
and then will I feel anything from that clearing? Because I am structurally, I'm experiencing, you know, the shift, I guess. So then now it's kind of like in my aura, this old behavior. So now it's more of like just bringing congruency into
absolutely.
shift. Okay.
Probably what you will feel is less, how I can say, you will feel less tempted if you have someone in front of you that is drinking. You
Right.
will have less, you know, like cravings, or all of a sudden you want to go back to certain things. You know, it's going to lift any type of resistance that you can have, or you know, like that can show up as sabotaging, you know, your direction and going back to old thing. I think you will feel supported to move forward what's healthy right now for you. And about the chakras, I think you will feel more trust or more kind of peace inside you, you know, like about you yourself feeling more confident and also more trusting probably others. About your shield, I think you will feel more energy, like less vulnerable or less reactive to certain small things that before you could react. Now you're going to feel less reactive to certain things.
Wow, that's fantastic. Okay, well, so let's go to the spirit guides.
So I checked the spirit guide. There is different panel, but the one I'm checking specifically, it's a panel of guides that are changing during your, during your lifetime. And most of the time, these spirit guides specifically, so they are not about like a ancestor or different type of, you know, people that you may know by the past, or animal totem, or this different type of guidance. Okay, these are specific spirit guides. They don't have name neither, and they just spend a certain amount of time with you, normally no more than a year. And they, how I can say, they show up to help you specifically to integrate certain lessons. For example, what you were going through 3 years ago, it's not what you are facing today.
Right.
So there is specific things in certain area of your life that you're facing right now, and you need to integrate this. So you have specific support that help you in this direction. Most of the time we have between 1 and we can have up to 10 or 12 sometimes spirit guide. More you have spirit guide at this moment, so that can change. They can stay 3 months or a few weeks, or stay about a year. And when more you have spirit guide, more it shows up that you are going through a big transition, and so you need a lot of guidance and support to help you to integrate all this lesson, or to help you to have support. So it's interesting to know, and it's what I'm checking basically, how many you have, and also knowing in which area of your life they are helping you. So like that you can understand, oh, it's what's going on for me. That are the subtitles of my life. It's what it's happening underlying. So also I'm checking this guide specifically because sometimes when we are going through negative moment our life, we can attract unconsciously, of course, negative guidance. And they are basically guiding you through your intuition, because spirit guides are basically talking through your subconscious mind and expressing itself through your intuition. So through synchronicity, or like all of a sudden you are going to how I can say, to find like
Information.
11:11, this
Yes.
type of time, or they actually they use symbolism to talk through you, but symbolism that resonate with you specifically. It's your language that they use, okay? Or they
Okay.
come through your dreams, or strong intuition, like take like a jacket before to go today. You're like, oh my god, but it's sunny, but this type of thing, or oh, you should accept this opportunity. This is intuition, but actually it's mainly guided by your spirit guide. Okay.
Is it different than your spirit guide than your higher self?
Yes.
It is. Okay. And so, because I get a lot of guidance, I feel like, and it's more intuition. It's a very, I was contemplating this the other day, but there's somehow when I get this feeling, now watch this or send this to this person. And, and it's not a conscious, and Amaya is on the receiving end of sending information to her. But it's interesting. It could be a combination of your kind of higher self, right? And it could be a combination of also your spirit guides. But yeah, okay. And based on what we're going through in that particular time of our life, and if that's the kind of the channel that I'm willing to listen to is through information, then they could use that same channel to say,
Mhm.
hey, this is the information you need for this time
Mhm.
in your life.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we check this guide because we need to clear if there is any negative ones, because they are pushing you into direction that are not healthy for you. And I can check also which direction they are messing,
Mm,
with. For example, I don't know, they impact you in your career, and so any type of decision you have made in the the last months, maybe you had difficulties in your career is because you had a negative guide, okay, that was, you couldn't use your intuition in the correct way.
I
Okay.
feel like that would be very, especially if people were polarized and kind of their good and bad selves, that negative guidance could come through your good ego. Oh, you really need to do this now, and you're not doing enough, and where we think it's productivity, where it's actually exhaustion, or like that kind of negative guidance. Yeah.
Yes,
Hmm.
absolutely. Yeah, it's very sneaky to check sometimes, and to find out, to discern what is this.
Yes, yeah. That's why it's just so important, especially in this day and age, that we know the difference and we know
Mhm.
ourselves, right? So yeah,
Yeah, we can navigate more
navigate.
fluidly in a
Yes,
way.
exactly. Awesome. All right. Well, let's see what spirit guides we have.
Yes, how many spirit guidance? You have 4 spirit guides. 4 of them are positive. They are helping you specifically in your health,
Mm,
general health. So how to take care of yourself, what's healthy for you, changing habits, for example,
mm-hmm,
in your spirituality,
mm-hmm,
in your balance power, which means developing your personal authority, finding your place,
mm-hmm.
taking your power, authority, success quotient, and to help you to success, which means here not just financially, but any type of project. It can be a relationship also, but any type of direction where you are putting your energy, you are helped that it's going to success.
Mm.
Okay.
That's very interesting because I have felt supported in
Mm.
those elements in the last couple of days. And
Oh.
I went through a letting go period. So I had some, self-worth issues kind of surface, and I went through that process. And then yesterday, kind of woke up and I was like, huh, I think I'm good.
Yes. Yeah. So when we to know sometimes just to feel to have the like to have the confirmation from outside through this work, for example, that we are supported in certain direction is just kind of validation of first, actually I'm not alone. And then just sometimes to identify them or to have a validation that we are not alone, it helps us to see and to feel that actually we are not alone.
Mm,
And to feel that, oh, I have more resources than I feel and than I
mhm.
thought. And
Yeah.
so that allow ourselves to kind of, to feel that we have a back,
Mhm.
someone have our back also. Okay.
It makes such a difference, because when we do feel so isolated and we're doing it alone, our view just narrows so greatly into one particular like illusion, I think is probably the
Yeah.
best to say. But
Mhm.
then when we have that, then we open and we're kind of like, okay, we can orient ourselves. I also found myself today, where usually I'll be working and I'll sit in judgment of kind of my own work. So I'm like in a witnessing view, but it's usually kind of like, oh, we could do it better kind of thing, even though it's
Mhm.
might probably the first time I'm doing it. And I didn't have that today. Interestingly, I worked really fluidly, but I had probably
Mhm.
4 or 5 projects up at the same time, and I let my thoughts and my processes flow without being like, oh no, you need to focus just on this. And I realized that one is kind of feeding all my other projects. So I have, and it was actually quite a nice little dance that I had going on this morning. So
That
yeah, that's kind of fun. That's kind of fun to make that connection.
So the guide who is taking care of the success aspect is helping you actually to develop the necessary step to success.
Mhm.
So trust your intuition, and you will be guided by doing the step that you need to do to take in terms of succeeding.
Mhm.
Okay.
With the spirit guides, do you go in there, you see how many there are and you see what areas of the life that you're getting supported?
Yeah.
Would a message come through that I'm not necessarily hearing? I know I've come to you with some intuition saying, after a meditation or something, I'll say, hey Maya, like I have a feeling like my spirit guide is trying to talk to me, but I'm not hearing it or I'm not allowing it. So do you check for messages, or is that kind of like another step, a next level kind of thing?
So for this type of thing, so I'm doing it in my normal session because in my session I'm talking to the person. So I'm not sending just a report. I have a full talking session of an hour where I go through all this explanation of what I found and and explaining to help the person to to put her consciousness into it, to integrate the work we did together, not just on an energetical level, also on a psychological and emotional level. It's very important. It's an holistic way to approach it. So I'm giving the message in this session in a report because I will need more information and I will need to talk. I'm not going
Do the
to say,
messaging.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay. So if you're getting
But
a
that,
report, then no messaging. But if you do book a soul reading, then
yes,
you
absolutely.
somebody can ask you for it, or if it comes up, because then you would have
Yeah.
that connection there. Mhm.
Because it's something that I get when I have the person on the phone. Like
Okay.
most of the time when I'm doing the clearing alone by myself, I don't get straight away the message. Sometimes yes, but most of the time it's when I have the person on the phone.
Okay. Interesting. Is there a message for me?
I'm going to check that right
Okay.
now.
Mhm.
Yes, there is one. It's the guy that is helping you with supporting you with your health.
Mhm.
Okay, so I'm going to connect with this guy and see. That has to do with your digestive system. There is something with your belly.
Mm.
Yeah, there is something about the new diet that you are taking, the new food it's good that you keep going. It's very important actually.
Okay.
And I get that it was time.
It was time. Okay.
It was really time that you change that.
Oh, the whole shift. Yeah.
Yes, it's not about the alcohol actually, it's more about the digestive system, what you are on a daily basis, what you put in your body,
Mhm.
like for example, people who cook every day with butter, like you don't realize it's just butter, even though it's a small thing, but you put that every day. And if it's
Mhm.
toxic for you, you are putting toxicity in your body every day,
Yes.
little bit.
Okay.
So it seems that there is something daily that you were using that was not good for you. And now that you're changing your diet, I
Uh-huh.
have the confirmation that's good. Keep going because it was necessary that you make this change. And
Okay.
this is really with center about your belly, the colon,
Okay.
like I don't
Yeah.
know how you say, yeah,
The
big
col-
intestine,
colon.
colon.
Yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
great.
I think.
If you understand, if people understand, it's good. I hope you.
So we're going to move on to energetic cords. And if
Yes,
you could just explain that a little bit.
so again, when that can happen most of the time when we have certain wounds, okay, especially that show up in our energetic system on our chakras. And so when we have certain wounds, that allow people to trigger us
Hmm.
more easily. It's something that we all experience.
Hmm.
Um, and the thing on an energetical level, it shows up on the chakra, and I can see and I can find that we have some cords, basically that attach our wounds to someone else that
Hmm.
trigger. Okay. So that can create dependency, toxicity, waste of energy, or codependent dynamic,
Hmm.
repeating pattern or maintaining people into unresolved issues and holding resentment, anger, having miscommunication and stuff like that.
Hmm.
So it's in any case it's you get stuck into a dynamic with a person,
Okay.
okay, that's
So,
not.
sorry.
Mhm.
So energetic cords are relationship
Yeah,
focused on relationships,
yeah,
and then they're also tied to chakras. Is that right?
yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So then if somebody has an energetic cord, let's say on my first chakra, then maybe something where it's focused on the more physical or the
Mhm.
groundedness or something like that, right? So then, okay.
Yeah.
So then you report back on the energetic cord, the chakra that it's tied to, and then you do a clearing.
So when I will do the report, of course, because I'm not going to talk to the person,
Right.
I'm going to check if there is cords, how many, because there can be many, and on which chakra, and also if it's tied to a person, like to a woman or a man, if it's family or not family. And then I cannot check, obviously, further. If the person wants to go further with me, take an appointment and then we will check. In
Yes.
any case, we don't need to know who is this person to cut the link.
Hmm.
Okay, we will cut it in any ways. Okay, so that's important to know. But just to for the person to have an idea. Okay, it's with a woman.
Right now.
If it's the first chakra, I have an idea of what type of dynamic it is, and then if it's family, not family, that can give already some ideas to the person.
Right. Okay. Perfect.
Mhm. So are we going to check for you?
Okay.
Okay. So no, you don't have any calls at this
No
moment.
cords. Okay.
No. Yeah.
Um, well, just so everyone knows, she's already cleared those cords.
Yes.
Well, we've had cords and she has cleared them. We're going through this authentically. So the good news is we've done the work.
Yeah. But they can always show up.
They
I
can
mean,
always
like
show
if
up.
again, for example, especially with family. It can, when you visit your mother after I don't know how many times you didn't see her, and then, there is some unresolved issue and things that are not clearly communicated, and then
Yes.
boom, you find a cause on your fifth chakra, on your throat, or so
Uh-huh.
there is some miscommunication, and so
Yeah.
they can always show up like that.
Is
Okay.
that kind of happen through childhood, the chords, or it can develop whenever based on just many different variables, I suppose. It would be almost impossible to create the
So
circumstance.
most of the wounds
Mhm,
of the vulnerable point, okay, develop through childhood,
mhm,
definitely. So when you got trigger, you trigger the old wounds
mhm,
most of the time. But that can create, for example, when you're going through a breakup with someone and then you have a cause with someone on your fourth chakra, okay?
mhm,
And it's just okay, you have a heart broken, so and you're still attached to this person.
mhm,
So it helps also to release when, for example, you want to move on in a new relationship, but you have still a cord with your ex, so there is, and you don't meet someone, so it's because most of the time you're still attached to the person, so it's good
mhm.
to remove this cord. Also on the second chakra, which most of the time it's sexual energy or vital energy, but if you're still engaged with someone, there is not so much room for a new person to come.
Mhm. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. And it also kind of indicates kind of where how your energy's flowing out, right?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. So
Yeah.
they can be created most of the time from old wound from your childhood, but also from recent wound or difficulties of challenge that you have with people.
Yeah. It's interesting because I feel a huge difference in vital energy from even from last week to this week, or, as I evolve into all of these therapies that I'm doing, um,
Mhm.
I don't feel myself out going like and all of plugged into all of these things, and whether
Mhm.
it's people, places, things, thoughts, or ideas, I'm starting to kind of pull my core back in and call you do this wonderful exercise, which I'll have you do for us. But yeah, that makes a huge difference. And you don't even know because you may be used to flowing that way all your life. I know that when we did our initial therapy and did this, and I felt the difference in my next interaction with these relationships after we did that first energetic cord checking and cutting. So
It's for that I found very important that okay, you do the clearing on the energetical level, it's very important, but if you don't explain to the person or if you don't have a report,
mhm.
you don't get it. So you keep going to do the same.
Yeah.
And so that's important to have it also on this level, to put your consciousness in it.
I see that it's a huge difference. In fact, when something you and I've worked on things like the subconscious mind, but as soon as we start talking about it and it becomes conscious, then I can kind of go out into my life and then I see kind of, oh, that's where it's showing up and that's where it's showing up. So now
Absolutely.
we're making that connection, that conscious mind connection. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So the cord may be cut, but then your behavior is not changing. So then all you're doing is kind of reestablishing,
Absolutely.
yes, out of habit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because it takes some time out of habits and your wound is still happening, and so we develop some defensive mechanism around the wound to protect ourselves, but they are not sometimes not so healthy or they need to be updated.
Yeah.
So to
Yeah.
put consciousness into it help you to see, oh, again I'm doing it again, so that's
Mhm.
slowly, and more you do some work on yourself, more you're going to change, obviously.
So with family, for example, they may have an energetic cord, but once you cut that cord, but they may have like different areas that they could trigger right after the cord has been cut. So it would just be a matter of awareness. Is that correct?
Yes, absolutely. Observation.
Observation. Yeah.
First, it starts with observation.
Mm,
When you see, you start to position yourself differently. You are not caught like by reaction or automatism.
mm, yeah, that
Yeah.
makes
And
perfect
you
sense.
can still have the wound, but not enter into the game with them.
Yeah, my mind's kind of like shuffling through and like bringing up all the areas in which when the cord was cut, and then I kept going back into it, And then there was kind of more of a subconscious part of me that had to get conscious. And then I
Mhm.
was almost able to catch up to the energetic part of the work
Yeah.
that we were doing. But then I noticed then my next interaction with the person, it was just kind of like, it just didn't hit me the way it usually did. It just kind of was like,
Mhm.
"What?" It is what it
That-
is.
that-
Yeah, that's so interesting. Awesome. Okay, so next we're gonna go to past, present life attachments, obligations, and contracts.
Yes. So these are basically like contract, engagement, vows that you pass in consciously, unconsciously, in a present life or in a past life.
Okay.
And so, for example, it can be something you move out from a relationship and you said, or from a work dynamic that said never again, you know. So that crystallized you into a situation where you're never going to do that again. But maybe it's healthy to restart this type of thing, or to restart to use certain capacities you have. But because it was attached to a negative situation, so you block the whole thing or the aspect of your personality. But that's actually blocking you into your development.
Mhm.
Okay, so it's this type of thing. So that can be done in this lifetime or in other lifetime, or you can have some contract with certain people that you know, people that you don't know anymore. Okay, so this can affect you by limiting you to develop your full potential, and or making you, or and allowing, how you can say that, uh, make you repeat certain pattern over and over again, attracting always the same type of people, or always being in certain work situation and stuff like that.
That's very powerful to know. Um,
Mhm.
so I know that a lot of people tend to have a negative experience with somebody, for example. And then to your point, I'm just kind of processing this and then sharing it back out. And then I've seen people kind of shut down and they create all of these walls and all of these beliefs to protect them. And that's kind of what you're saying. They shut that complete portion down. They make these bigger associations, right? Mhm. And then by
Totally.
developing those beliefs, then now you've shut down, but what was actually a gift. I know I've experienced that
Mhm.
a lot.
Yeah. Mhm.
Um, but yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That's so interesting.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
So, and then those are kind of uh our past, present kind of attachments and our interactions with people. You can have positive interactions and contracts, right? And then you can have, and you're checking for the negative ones.
Yeah, the negative or the no longer serving the purpose.
Got it.
Actually, when you have positive, they don't show up,
Okay.
because they are positive. But what I'm getting is the no longer serving a purpose,
Hmm.
or the negative ones.
Okay.
Okay. So
All right.
let's check if you have any.
Okay.
Normally, no, but you never know.
Yeah.
So no, you
No.
don't have any.
Okay.
One thing also I would like to mention, and I think I mentioned into the other explanation of the report that comes with the report. It's a clearing is going to clear what you are ready at this moment on your level of consciousness to clear and let it go. There is maybe still, after doing 3 or 4 clearing, that certain things are going to show up that didn't show the first one, that was very important for you to let it go. But the thing is, like, you were not ready.
Mm-hmm.
So, and also we clear by layers, and so we cannot, and it's impossible to clear everything in one time, because
Right.
even though it's not healthy, you didn't develop something new to continue to work in your life. Okay, So if we clear all the thing that was helping you, you're going to fall. You didn't have, your consciousness didn't create yet the new support in you,
Right.
in your system. Okay, that does make sense
Yes,
what I'm
that
saying?
makes perfect sense. And that is important. Yeah. Yeah. Because so
So
you're checking all of these different energy aspects based on where you are right now. So
right now, yes,
Mhm.
right now, where the person is at this moment in its life, and what is ready to let it go, what is ready to, okay, move on, open up to something.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's really important to know. Awesome. All right. So no attachments. That's great.
Yes, nothing.
All right. So let's move to negative entities, spirits, and dark energies.
So basically, these are, as I said, and I call them this way, they are parasites,
Mm.
energetic parasites. And in the same way as I like to do this reflection into the mature life, they are seen as a virus, the fungi, how we call them, bacteria. There is different type of parasite. They have different name because they have different function and impact on the body. So it's the same on the energetical world. We have different name: earthbound spirit, poltergeist, spirit, ghost, entities, dark energies. There is so much different name, but they have different function. There is certain that are very strong, very impactful, and other less, more sticky, less sticky. They have different functioning, but they are all parasites. Okay, so
Okay.
in this we check all of that.
And
Okay.
how potentially could somebody feel if they had a parasite? Could they be chronically ill or have ongoing negative thinking? Those are some of
Absolutely.
the things. Mhm.
Yeah. Again, that has to do with your level of sensitivity, how much you are connected to your body, how much you are observing and knowing yourself. You will feel that more, and you will get, oh, something is off, like something, I'm starting to have this loop constantly, or I'm feeling very drained right now. I was 2 days ago, and now since I saw this person, I'm feeling very heavy, or I went into this house and now I feel that someone is following me constantly. So this type of things can show up, like, okay, something stick on you.
Mhm. So
Okay.
as far as parasites are concerned, if that really works with um how strong your shields are and how open your chakra system is, right? I mean, it's really kind of your vulnerabilities to that type of thing. Or you could also come into this life with that kind of experience in play, or
No,
no, okay.
no,
So
most of the time, no, you
it's
don't have
here.
this type of attached. No, no, it's after. Yeah.
It's here. Okay, that
Mm.
makes perfect sense actually on a galactic level.
Yeah.
um, but yeah, so that makes sense. And so you want to make sure that your body container is being taken care of. That's where self-love, yeah, valuing yourself, all that comes in, because that's energetic
Totally.
strength and vitality. That
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah. And they nourish themselves from your energy, actually. When you have, like, for example, you hurt yourself on the here, and then you don't protect anything, there is no protection anymore, there is no skin, so there is some bacteria and virus that comes and live from this.
Yeah.
So it's the same, this type of parasite, they come and live from your love, live from your energy, from your light,
Ah,
you
that's
know
so interesting. Yeah.
so
Yeah, that makes sense though. Yeah. I mean, because we're a source of power for that type of attachment. Yeah. Huh.
yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And there is different type of it. There is some energy or some parasite that are more evolved than others. Some of it in purpose, or they are directed by other so good, but that start to be something else. But
Hmm.
you can be parasite, and that show up as you are not clear, you're foggy, or you're that stop and, like, limit you to evolve and to be in your power, or like, maintaining you into very limiting space,
Hmm.
to control people also. it's great to have a lot of entity and dark energy going in,
Yeah.
like very certain soul group using that purpose through social media and stuff like that, or
Yeah.
event and music sometimes, or artists.
Interesting.
So just by listening their music or watching certain movie, you are tapping into this type of dark energies.
Yeah.
I'm going to check that right now, which is interesting that my pendulum separates in two right now, so I cannot
Oh, that
check
is
properly.
interesting.
That's interesting.
Wow.
Let me check that.
Okay.
Hopefully, I have another pendulum on me. I know. I understand now why
Why you
I
put
use
that
it.
on earlier?
Yes. Okay, let's do it this way. Good.
Intuition
Very
live with the Maya.
totally, because it's something that I never, very rarely I put on myself, and today was use that. Okay,
Yeah.
now
Interesting.
anyway. So let me check. Do you have any? No, no. Most of the time, when you have still shield like yours and they were not open, like there was no opening into it,
Mm.
there is no this type of parasite that can come in. Okay,
Okay.
so I'm not really surprised you didn't have any parasite on you today. Mm.
So I have a question, last question on the parasite. Can,
Yes.
without somebody doing this type of clearing, can a parasite like attach itself, but then it could also leave as well, right? Because you somehow got it cleared in
Mm.
another way, right? I mean, there doesn't mean that they're with you forever, if you didn't
Yeah,
do a clearing like,
absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No, sometimes, yeah, they live by themselves, or like for example, shield can be restored also by themselves. When you take care of yourself, when you go in nature often, when you rest well, you eat well, you sleep well, you can restore your shield. So
Okay.
by this way, this type of things can be clear also by themselves in a way.
Mhm.
You don't have to wait to do this type of clearing with someone to have. But sometimes when it's too, they can get very sticky, and especially when you don't take care of yourself and you are constantly like bringing more negativity, or not bringing so much light, so much love into your life.
Mhm.
You start to create an environment that maintain this type of and nourish this type of parasites.
Nourish, yes. That makes sense. Awesome. All right. So that is the end of our report. Is that right?
Good. Yes, it's good.
Yes.
We
Okay.
did it.
Yeah, we did it. That was awesome. Those are great, some great explanations.
Mhm.
Um, So, Amaya, I want to thank you so much for hopping on this call. One thing I want to encourage everybody that does sign up for this is, get the report, go through it. She'll provide those explanations. She'll do the clearing remotely. But if you do want to talk further, if you want to get in deeper, then you could go through for the full soul reading, and you'd be working with Amaya directly. And then she can answer any questions about your report, if you book a session with her. So, I just wanted to let everybody know that. I'm excited to offer this in this way, because I just don't think that a lot of people have access or even know why they would need it. You don't know what you don't know, right? So it's a good way to educate people and make them more aware of themselves.
Thank you so much, Kim,
Thank you,
for your
Amaya.
time. Thank you.